So we've been live for 4 minutes, 18 seconds. However, none of you could see us, hear us, or anything. So we're trying to work out what went wrong for the duration. Neil, honestly, he was singing. Tune. His version of Nessun Dorma gave me chills, and you all missed it.
I don't think I've got it in me to repeat it either, I'm afraid.
Now, one thing that really caught my interest is Liverpool have announced a deal with Coca-Cola, and classic Liverpool fans, it doesn't take them long to sort of mash together a kit as to how it'd look. So I've got some of the kits that have been designed. You may or may not have seen them, and in the comments, give us your thoughts on these. For a home shirt, Neil, this. What do you think?
I think the sponsor actually looks quite good. I don't like the white on the shoulders, if I'm honest. That takes it away from looking like a Liverpool kit to me. There's a bit too much white. Maybe the bits that are coming down. When I looked at it, I thought Nottingham Forest.
Ooh, very good point. It is very Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
What about you, Kev? Seeing as it covers your face, we'll take it down.
I totally agree with Neil. Sorry, it's just too much going on. It's not a Liverpool red for me. It needs to be a little bit darker as well. So, and there's too much going on the collar, and I totally agree. Great spot by Neil to shout. I want to shout for Nottingham Forest because it does look like that.
Rook Draft gave it a solid 5.5 out of 10. The sponsor looks okay. Okay, well, don't worry. That's the first one. We've got more. And as we know, sometimes the away kit's a little bit more interesting than the home. What about this for an away kit?
Quite like that.
That's quite a good one, isn't it? I'm a big fan of that one. Diet Coke. Give that a grade out of 10 in the comments. What do you think of this as a Diet Coke as a middle partnership?
I like that.
I prefer it to be Coke Zero, to be honest, all black.
Don't you worry, we've got a Coke Zero one coming up. What you fret.
I like cherry Coke. Have you got that for us? Or?
I don't have cherry Coke, but I'm with you on that.
That'll be the third kit.
That's the centenary edition, that cherry red. Okay, so next one. You asked for Coke Zero. This is something in me likes it, but it's not a home kit, but it looks like a home.
No.
But it can't work because we're not Man United.
No, that is not a Liverpool kit.
No, definitely not.
Okay, so that's been disregarded right away. And I'm just going to switch to the last one, which I really like.
I do. I prefer that one. As on away kit, that.
Yeah, I think that one. I think both of what we would perceive to be the away kits are quite.
Yeah.
These two away kits are pretty tasty, to be honest, aren't they?
Yeah.
Whoever's done those mock-ups, get your home kit sorted. We're not a fan of the home kit, but when has a home kit been released recently where everyone's gone, really like that? It's a really good home kit.
18-19, I thought. With the white collar, with the yellow stripes coming down, I thought I quite like that one. Sorry to interrupt, by the way.
No. Talking to kits, I saw the third kit because obviously they've released the third kit now. Someone did a mock, the green one with the red badges and sponsor. Someone did a mock up with the badge and the sponsor in white, and it looked fabulous. What might have been.
Just get so close, don't they, in the kits?
No, the red it looks all right, the red, but with white, it just looked very good. Anyway.
So Root Josh giving us the Diet Coke a 6.5, the Coke Zero a 4, which I think is generous because I think it looks like a Man United kit because it's red and black. The Gold Coke a 7 out of 10. I'm the Gold Coke. I'm a solid 8-9 out of 10. I'm a big fan of that one, to be honest. As an away kit, I think it'd look pretty good.
Then we do one for around Christmas time with the holidays coming on it, do we, or something like that?
Little
With
Santa, like the Santa trucks all around the kit.
And the Liverpool players come in the actual coach that is dressed like a lorry.
Can Klopp have to wear like a wig and a hat?
Well, you never know. He could be winking out of the back of the actual bus here. Do you know what I mean? As he goes past, you never know. You know what I mean? It's Coke, isn't it?
No, it's worth pointing out at this point, they are not our shirt sponsor. It's just a strategic partnership. It's just some brilliant Liverpool fan who you'll find on our Twitter account has created these mock-ups. And it's worth having a look because, let's face it, we've had no good football to watch recently. But some good news that's come out, Neil, is Ibu's back and Kelleher's back. So, all in fair war, you've got 4 centre-backs now available. Who are your centre-back pairing?
Just to add as well, Calvin Ramsey trained today as well, which is another positive. My centre-back pairing for Saturday is Joel Matip and Virgil van Dijk. I thought Matip was outstanding against Ajax. So he is in possession of the shirt for me. However, we have 9 fixtures in October, and I expect there to be plenty of opportunity for at least 3 out of the 4 to play some regular football.
Same for you, Ken? Joel Matip.
I said last night on here, Matip will be the starting going forward. I think Kanate will probably start playing against Rangers. I think one of the Rangers fixtures because he sees him as the most dominant player in the Champions League, and eventually, given the task, I think it may be Kanate Van Dijk further down the line. You'll probably see that partnership. But I agree with Neil totally. I think there will be, with the amount of fixtures and big fixtures that are in there, there's going to be a mixture of opportunities for the likes of Kanate. So if he doesn't play Saturday, he'll be playing some part. Plus you've got Chelsea, you've got City inside this window of games. So I expect a bit of rotation, selective rotation to say the least. And yeah, I think at the minute, I totally agree with Neil. Matip's got it to lose at the minute.
Now, thinking about the midfield, the area that everyone's worried about at this moment in time, we've got Fab that's only played about 30 minutes, but he's travelling back from South America. Thiago hasn't gone away. He's just stayed, he's trained, he's got himself in shape, had a little holiday, I think, as well. I swear I saw some people snap him on a flight at Liverpool Airport. Henderson's back fit, went away with England, didn't play but has trained. Is the midfield sort of less panicky now? You know, Elliott didn't go away. Or is it still... for me, like a few injuries caused us problems, Neil, but I think now we've got the core people back playing and getting in a rhythm, surely things are a lot more positive.
Yeah, I think the main thing is Thiago. He's the key, isn't he, to getting that midfield going. So him and Fabinho. I think, to be honest, I think Brazil played at the Parc de France on Tuesday. So I think they actually stayed in Europe, which is obviously a positive thing. I think. I don't know. So Thiago's the key. Him and Fabinho together are outstanding. What we're going to do with the right-hand side, Harvey Elliott's done well. Wasn't as good against Ajax. There is a bit of a concern about that right-hand side defensively overall. I'd be tempted to give Elliott another chance. And then options are there, as you say. Henderson's back. We've got Milner. I don't think Curtis Jones is too far away either. So it's not as serious as it once was.
No, it's an interesting one, Kevin. I've probably asked this question to everyone so far, but I don't think I've asked it to you two. Harvey Elliott is a spectacular player. Absolutely brilliant player. But he gets dribbled past quite a lot, which then leaves our right-hand side exposed because it's a right-hand side forward of Trent. If someone can dribble past our first press, which is Elliott, it leaves us exposed, which is how teams are attacking us. Do you think we play a system that Elliott can work in? Because I don't think he's a right central midfielder.
I don't think he is either, and he's admitted to it on a few little snippets he's done for Liverpool over the last couple of weeks, where he said that I think it was his FIFA ratings for 23 came out, and he'd done a little video which Ox was a part of and Ramsey was as well. So it was nice to see the people who were on the sick note list were given the opportunity to do something. But he admits himself. Now, I think he's had to play that position because of how drastic our midfield had been and how blighted it was. And he gave him the opportunity to develop and work in that position. It's worked well. However, there are flaws to him playing there, which is no criticism of him. I mentioned it on air and alluded to it, and then there was a stat coming out the following day backing up what I said, which is very rare for me to happen, to be honest, when I mention something on here. But when you watch him, you can actually see, and you're there in the game, and you're watching, you do see that. And especially against Palace, it was a letdown that Eze gets through that first initial pass. Zaha does, or no, Eze, and then he plays it through. And it is a problem, and it is going to be an issue. Formation-wise, I don't know. You look at last season when he came in, before he got injured, he was playing back up to Salah and was playing in that midfield role, but he wasn't given that defensive duty. He was allowed to develop and go forward. That has been taken away from him, so you missed part of what he's good at, and you're working on the weaknesses that he's on. Unfortunately, I don't think it's worked as well as what we thought it would have done. But formation-wise, I don't know. I'd like to see. I know we talk about a 4-2-3-1. I don't know whether that would work with him in that, because then you're sacrificing. If you're playing him, where does he play? Are you playing him as a number 10, or are you playing him on the right? So then it means then where you're playing Salah, are you putting him in the middle, or are you playing him on the left? It causes up more problems, I think. I think what does benefit him, though, is that this season forward, you've got 5 subs. So that gives you a reset in games to then change the way you play. And that's where I think you'll see a lot of the youngsters getting a lot more time and advantage of playing in the positions that they're really good at, as well as certain positions if we've been blighted. Sorry to go round the houses with that one, but
no, it's a really difficult problem, isn't it? Because you've got this player,
absolutely, yeah,
incredible. Harvey Elliott is an incredible player, playing on a side with Trent, who is also an incredible player. Both of them could easily make it into the world top 50, top 25 potentially. You know, if Harvey Elliott continues, Trent I think already made it once on that sort of Ballon d'Or list. But weaknesses are similar in terms of defensive awareness more than defensive ability, because I don't believe in defensive ability being either of their weakness. I think it's the awareness of Elliott when to press, Trent when to move back and when to move forward. I think it's just more awareness than it is ability. Neil, what would you do with a problem like Harvey Elliott? And I say it's a problem, it's a good problem to have, but it is a problem in terms of how you mould him to go forward in his career.
So I wouldn't put him in one particular position and say that's him done. He's 19. He's incredibly talented, brilliant on the ball, good reader of the game. I think there are games where he can play that right-sided midfield role, where we're going to be very, very dominant, and we have a lot of the ball. I think that's not in doubt. I think he could play the 10, but I don't think the formation will change. And I think he's probably a good backup for Salah on the right-hand side. So, and I think he proved that when he played against Southampton at the end of last season when we made 9-10 changes. So for me, I wouldn't say he's not a right midfielder. I wouldn't say he's a right winger. I wouldn't say he's a 10. I think we've got a talent, and we probably don't know yet quite where that talent fits in. And there may be certain scenarios where he does fit in on the right midfield, sometimes on the right of of that. Someone else, I think Gary's just said in the chat, interesting that he's not played on the left. And that's one thing that does bug me, that when we play Elliott and we play Henderson, why do we, Henderson's right-footed, Elliott's left-footed. I don't see why we don't swap that around and give him a go on the left. So, as I say, we talk about his qualities. His character's also a very, very big quality that he's got. And I think in games where we've disappointed this year, he's been one of the standouts. So, yeah, I've used a lot of words there to say I don't think I would pigeonhole him into one position at the moment.
I think for me, when I think about what's going to happen this weekend, teams are going to try and attack us in one simple way. They're going to try and get behind Trent, in between the centre-back, get down that wing, because that's how everyone's got success against us so far this season. So I actually don't think Elliott will start. I think Klopp will go defensive because he needs teams to fear us again. And I think he's going to rebuild that sort of fear by saying, okay, well, we're going to shut this door down and now you're going to have to work something else out. But that's just a gut feeling that I've got. There is a very good chance that he will play Harvey Elliott there because Henderson's not played any football, but Klopp goes to experience when he wants to solve a problem normally.
The thing with Henderson is he not going to have to? So we've got 9 games. They're not all going to play 9 games. So someone like Fabinho, who may play 6 or 7 of those games, is Henderson not the backup 6?
I would prefer him as a 6.
Yeah.
But I think that they're going to implement it almost like, if you think of Fab as your central defensive midfielder, I think Henderson will be asked to take about 3 steps back to where he would normally play as a central midfielder. So it's almost like a double pivot, but it's not, because he will go forward a bit, but I think he's just going to shut the door.
Yeah, but the reason I think Elliott might play is because I think he'll save Henderson for the 6 role against Rangers midweek with Fabinho starting this weekend.
Maybe. There's a good chance. I mean, I think a game like Rangers is perfect for Elliott to really express himself and learn the defensive elements of the game and stuff like that. But there's also the Arthur problem. Arthur has put in the graft. He's played the games. There's some great quotes from his agent saying how much he wants to be here. He's demonstrated it without going on holiday and stuff like that. Do you think this could be a debut for Arthur Melo, Kev, or do you think it's tried and tested week?
Do you know what? Before I came on, I was, because I'm going to a match on Saturday and I'm getting quite excited. It's like nearly Christmas Eve and I'm looking forward to it. God knows what my wife and my kids think about that, but never mind. It's not about them. It's about me this weekend. So when I was thinking of it, you start seeing the quotes, and I'll be honest, I'm blown back of what I'm hearing of what Arthur's done, and it's credit to himself that he's put himself in a position to give himself an opportunity of making this into what it looks like and perceives that he wants to make this a career move and come here permanently, rather than an actual loan deal and moving on. I quite like I quite like his mindset, his mentality. What he's done is already proven to Klopp that he could come into this team and do a job. He's got the right mentality. He's got the right intelligence. He knows what he has to work on. I was thinking he may start, but after coming on here tonight and listening to what we're thinking, I think he will go to experience. But I think he may get an opportunity to come on at some point. I'd like to see how, I'll be honest, I'd like to see him play, to see how much he is, how much of what we've heard. Actions speak louder than words for me. And I'd like to see backed up on the pitch when he gets his opportunity, if he does. But I think with the 9 games, he may get his opportunity. If not tonight, he could start against Rangers on Tuesday or Wednesday night. I'd like to see him start. I doubt he will. I think he'll go to the experience and I'd go with the Hendo and Fabinho myself.
Feels like a Rangers start for me, but just to give you the quotes from his agent, he is now fully recovered and is at the complete disposal of the manager. I have no doubt he will be a success in a Liverpool shirt. He wasn't training with the rest of the Juventus team, so it was normally needed extra time arriving on the last day. From Arthur's point of view, he needed to put the work in. Now, what was really interesting there is them saying that he wasn't, you've got this player, Barcelona starter, played for Brazil, moved to Juventus, in a big swap deal. It doesn't seem like someone that's just going to, ignite situations and doesn't come across that sort of person, does he? That sort of makes life difficult. Like Diego Costa or Tevez going back to South America and having a paddy. It's a real shame sometimes, isn't it, Neil, when you've got talented players who just get pushed out to nothing because they don't fit a system.
Yeah. And I think when he was at Barcelona, he was compared to one of the, whether it was Xavi or Iniesta, I can't remember. Yeah. And then he went in that swap deal with, I can't remember.
Pjanic,
yeah. So he went for them, and then he's just not really well. He featured to a certain extent, but nowhere near what his talent really demands. So I've seen him play a few times. He is a good footballer. He is a very, very good player on the ball. And you look at that Juventus side under Allegri, especially. I mean, they've been terrible this season. They've been dreadful. Players like Rabiot playing ahead of Arthur. Players whose attitude,
physicality over technical ability, isn't it? Almost?
Yeah. So I think it'd be really interesting. He's done exactly what you would want him to do, hasn't he? As a manager, he's gone away. He's worked hard, and now he's kind of banging on the door to say, "Look, I'm now ready for you." So I hope he gets an opportunity, because I do like the way he plays. I do like the technical nature of his game. Whether he'll be Thiago's rotational player, possibly. But yeah, you're right. It's a real shame when talented footballers are replaced with athletes.
Now, if you are new here, please make sure that you leave a like and a subscribe to the video. There is only 13 likes on this video at the moment. It is as simple as pressing a thumbs up button on the bottom, and it really helps us out. So if you are watching this, there's 30 odd of you in here, just tap the little thumbs up button. Makes my life easier, makes Kev's life easier. And look how excited Kev is for the weekend. You don't want to take that away by not liking this video. So,
James, can I just quickly say about Arthur, to be honest? I think it was kind of striking on the day of the deal that Juventus fans were questioning Allegri as to why Liverpool had come in and signed him, and had they missed out on an actual player he actually is. So it kind of makes you think that we've already it kind of started from there, and it's now evolving that he's now, if you're a Juventus fan, wow, he hasn't gone away. He's got himself into training. What have we missed out on? Again, is that more pressure on Allegri at Juve for not playing him? And as Neil said, quite rightly said, playing the likes of a Rabiot, who's got a bad demeanour about him, ahead of a player who's actually skillfully better.
The other thing that's come out today, there are reports in Italy that Juventus may actually be willing to drop the release clause as well. So I think the release clause is 37.5 million euros, the option that we've got to buy him at the end of the season. There was a report in Calcio Mercato today suggesting that they would be prepared to negotiate that down even further. So if he does well, we may get a player at a decent price as well.
One of Jen's comments, we're not going to comment on it, but can we sign Xabi Alonso? I tell you what, if you watch that Legends game, and if you've not, go and have a watch of some of the highlights and stuff on Liverpool. Xabi Alonso was just strolling around, making everything look easy, just passing the ball like it was, what a player. He was sensational and actually looked like he could still play football now, even though he's got no physical ability to do so. He can just pass a ball brilliantly. Now, we're going to finish just talking about, have you seen this leaked Ballon d'Or, both of you?
I haven't. No.
I
Kev?
caught a glimpse of it.
So there is one Liverpool player that's in the top 13 that we can see. Can you guess who the Liverpool player is?
Mohamed Salah.
Yes. In third place in this example of the Ballon d'Or. And to give you the top 5 so that you can see whether you agree with it. Number 5 is Robert Lewandowski. Number 4 is Vinicius Jr. Number 3 is Mohamed Salah. Number 2 is Sadio Mane. And number 1 is Karim Benzema. What do you think about that leaked Ballon d'Or, Kev? Do you think that's about right?
I'll be honest. The time of when it comes out, what's it based on? Is it based on, because it's halfway through the following season, and if you look at the time when City got beat by Chelsea, I would have given it to Kante for his role on in the Champions League final. I think you've got to. I think they do have it right. I think Benzema has been unbelievable. However, I think Lewandowski is a bit lower than what I was expecting. But is that because of certain things? I don't know. He was close to winning it when it was closed off, and he didn't do the Ballon d'Or. Was it 2021? I think it was. So it's Benzema for me was the standout for last season. I think you look at the goals he scored, the headers he scored against Chelsea were just amazing. Benzema's stats overall just make him look amazing. When Ronaldo was there, he sacrificed himself and got more assists. He then, after that, when Ronaldo leaves, he takes up the mantle, even though he has been this every time when Ronaldo left, he brought in a number 9 to replace him, and yet he's still knocking on the door. He's been amazing. I don't like the attitude or what happened with the French squad, allegedly, that goes against him. But undoubtedly on the pitch, an amazing player. Mane, for what he done with
Senegal,
with the African nations, and winning that and getting them to the World Cup as well instead of Egypt. So he deserves to be ahead of Mo Salah. Lewandowski, I'll be honest, there's an argument for Lewandowski to be 3rd or 4th for me. I don't think Salah's done enough to be in the top 3. I may be wrong with that, but that's the way I see it. But they'd probably be the two.
The season was unreal, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. But then you look at what happened.
He walked it.
Well, yeah, if he wins the African nations, then he'd absolutely walk it. But the fact that he then comes back and doesn't achieve or accomplish anything that he did, there is an argument that he should be 4th or 5th in my book. But that's just my opinion.
Well, here's one for you. Slightly annoys me that Thibaut Courtois finished 10th in this mock list. I think he deserved to be a lot higher. I think he proved, especially in the Champions League final, that he was the best goalkeeper in the world for the last year. But in 11th place, Neil, was Cristiano Ronaldo as the 11th best player in the world for the last 12 months.
Yeah. So
try and be impartial if you can.
So I think with the Ballon d'Or, I think it's voted for by France football journalists. I think they pick the players to go forward for it. And I'm pretty sure that I read that past appearances from previous seasons also can have an impact. So whether that's just like a loophole that they've got in the voting that they want to put Ronaldo and they want to put Messi in, I'm not sure. But was he the 11th best player? No, he wasn't. Was Sadio Mane the 2nd best player in the world last year? No, he wasn't. But with this award, they go for the ones that win the trophy. So if you win something for your national team, if you win something for your club, you're up there. Or if you're Ronaldo or Messi, you're normally up there. So, if you told me to pick my top 30 players from football over the last year, he wouldn't be in it.
Even the top 100.
Even if he'd have scored 50 goals, he still wouldn't be in it. No, I'm joking. Mane, for me, Sadio Mane was not the second best player in the world last season. He had a average first half of the season. to follow on from an average season before. However, when he moved to a central striking role post AFCON, where, fair play to Senegal, they won the trophy, he was much better and much more improved. But if you look at performances between him and Karim Benzema, they're a million miles away for me.
Absolutely.
No, I'm not arguing Mane should have. It'd have been a discussion, but I still think Benzema should have won if we'd have won the Champions League. But Mane's skill was he closed. And he closed in the most highest pressure moments there is, the winning penalties, the winning situations, and that is what makes him the second best.
I think Mane would have won it. I think Mane would have won it if we'd have won that Champions League final.
You think?
Yeah.
I think it's quite possible because it's such a strange way that they look at these things. And if you've won something with your national team as well as winning something with your club, either normally the Champions League, then you got a good chance of getting that award.
I agree with you, James. I think Courtois should have been in the top 5. I think because if it wasn't for him, he would have been. I don't see Real Madrid winning anything last season. I think he's been good. Only for last season. I know Neil's going into a heart attack there, by the way. But
no, it's just reminded me of his performance in the final.
Exactly.
Oh,
it's unbelievable how well he's done, and he needs to be highly rated. He's got to be in the team of the season. Got to be, hasn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that was an unbelievable performance in the final.
It was outstanding.
I hate it when that happens against us. It happens way too often.
I know.
It was Ben Foster that used to have the amazing games against us out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it wound me up because he was a bang average keeper, unless it was against us, and then he just turned into a worldie. But tomorrow is the preview. Premier League football is almost back. Thank you very much to Neil. Thank you very much to Kev. We've had a look at some Coca-Cola kits. If you joined us midway through, so at the start, you can see what some mock-ups of Coca-Cola sponsored kits look like. Neil believes Ronaldo should be in the top 10 based on friends. And we had a bit of a struggle to start, but eventually it got working. So it is a bit of a weird start to the video if you do start it from scratch. This is LFC Transfer Room. Make sure you leave a like and a subscription to the video, and we will catch you on the next one.